Now, let's proceed to the next topic, which is the preference organization and expansion sequences. First, I will discuss the preference organization. The basic pattern of conversation is I speak, you speak, I speak, you speak. Preference organization is a pair which gives freedom in responding to some first pair part, where it is preferred or dispreferred one. Thus, some second pair parts may be preferred and others may not, or it is dispreferred. For example, an invitation may be followed by an acceptance, or it is known as preferred pair part, or a rejection, or it is known as declination, or the dispreferred second pair part. When this happens, the dispreferred second pair part is often preceded by a delay, a preface, or an account for. It refers to the sequence 1, and it is the freedom of choosing certain response to a certain conversation. Please look at the example. The letter A, would you like to come to the movies on Friday? Is invitation, and the is a delay, and I don't know for sure is the preface. I think I might have something on that night is the account, and can we make it another time is the rejection. In this example, the first invitation is accepted, which is called the preferred, and the other one is the dispreferred because it is declined. The second of these examples with this preferred second pair part decline, we can see a number of delay tactics like and it is very evident that there is a time gap that is observed in number 2 and number 4. Now, when talking about preferred second part, it is a second part of adjacency pair that consists of a sort of response to the first part that is not avoided by participants and is less likely than this preferred second part to be formally marked by such features as delays, prefaces, and accounts. It is not a direct decline because B is answered that way instead of word no, and it is not answered with politeness. The example is have no contiguity because it falls into this preferred and there is no connection at all. What makes it not contagious is that the silence, the delays such as a hedge like I don't know, or some other discourse markers such as well, or accounts such as I got a lot of things. Let us proceed to the expansion sequences. Adjacency pairs can be expanded in different ways, and these are the ways. Pre-expansions, they will expanded by post-expansions and may be expanded by insert expansions. Expansions may occur prior to the articulation of the base, which is the first part pair, pre-expansion. In between the base first part pair and the base second part pair or insert expansion, and following the base, which is the second part pair, which is the post expansion. Expansions are commonly also sequences made up of first part pair and second part. Pre-expansions are designed to preliminary to some projected base sequence and hearable by participants as preludes to some other actions. So here it is. The go-ahead response is designed to determine if the response is likely preferred by asking about availability. The second one is blocking. in which answers with competing activity indicate the invitation is likely to be declined and prevent an invitation being made. And the third one is the hedging, which is the Y-type answers indicate that the response depends on the invitation. This is the example of go-ahead pre-invitation. So here it is. So the progress for the recipient to proceed with the base, which is the first pair part, which is the pre-invitation is projecting. Clara's acceptance in the following example is very evident in her answer, which is yeah, is thus foreshadowed by Nelson's pre-invitation, which is Nelson answered or questioned what you doing. This is also the example of lacking pre-invitation. So here it is. The pre-invitation raises the possibility that the invitation, if tendered, will be declined and thereby discourages or blocks the invitation in the first place. Thus, in the next example, Judy's "well, we're going out" blocks John from following up on his pre-invitation, which is the first pair part, the "how you doing?" So look at the example. This is also the example of hedging pre-invitation. So in the third type of pre-invitation, the hedging pre-invitation, a full response is contingent on what the invitation is going to be. In generic pre-expansion, there is one pre-sequence type which can be found with any base sequence, which is the summons answer sequence. And the first pair part may consist of an address term, a politeness term such as "excuse me," and an attention getting token such as "hey" and the like. Post-expansion is that sequence can be expanded after the completion of the base, which is the second pair part of the post-expansion. It may be sequence of the minimal post-expansions, post-sequence, and the single turns. Closing sequence O is registers recipient of information, and the recipient has moved from state of not knowing, and the closing sequence OK is usually claims acceptance of an second pair part. Now, let's proceed to insert expansion. So, insert expansion occurs within the adjacency pair itself and separates the FPP from the SPP. So, when we say FPP, it is the first pair part and SPP is the second pair part. Insert expansion does not cancel the relevance of the projected SPP, but does preparatory work for it. Insert expansion is realized through a sequence. When we say it is unsequenced, so it is in insert sequence. Once the sequence is completed, the base is PP or the second pair part once again becomes relevant as the next action.